finding this clean air. You're going to see these cars pan out, spread out, and it's going to happen right here as we get off into turn one. Here we go.
Well, the thing I noticed immediately right there as we went to those in cars is they sped the pace up. You could hear those cars starting to speed the pace up, but immediately we're 4 wide, Mike.
4 wide, middle of the field on back as everybody scrambles. And every restart today is going to look just like this. Fan out across the track and get everything you can get right away.
I think they were up against each other right there. That may
looked like Austin Dillon there got stuck in the middle of the pack like that. And there's nothing worse as a driver. You get stuck in the middle. You can't go high, can't go low. Something has stalled your momentum, but he definitely lost a lot of spots right there.
Well, it's like this track is a giant funnel. You enter 4 wide in turn 1. By the time you get to start finish, you're 1 or 2 wide. Then it goes back to 3 and 4 when you get into the middle of the corner.
Bell to second place around Buscher.
Well, Alex Bowman was really good on the long run charts yesterday. We felt like his car was one of the best cars. His time showed that on every chart that we had up. So we expect Alex Bowman to keep moving towards the front of this track.
Trouble out of turn 4. One car just went up in smoke and drops down to the bottom. I think that's Allmendinger.
Hey, Easy, are you?
Yeah, big blow up right there. See if he can keep his track position on him on the exit of 2. That's what's going to be important. I think he's going to drive right by him, Kevin.
Look at that Blaney car right in the middle, shoots the gap, gains a couple spots, and that's a very typical move here at Kansas. Everybody will go to block the bottom and the top, and that middle lane opens right up. You see it again. That middle.
Oh, he's wanting to move up. He's going to.
Larson brings him off the corner with the lead, but a lot of jockeying and jostling for position. Cars trying to side draft and take the air off each other.
Yeah, and you see Christopher Bell fade to that high line. Buscher down to the bottom as Kyle Larson runs the middle, and that's what you want to do. You want to go where they're not, just like we showed in the beginning. That front downforce on that car directly behind somebody is definitely not the way to go. Oh wow.
Reddick got in the wall. Almost a trifecta right there. Reddick into Hocevar into Berry. You talked about Berry. Started dead last in the trunk to the field. And look at here. Here we go. Top 10 right now.
Yeah, you got a couple cars all right there in one. With Reddick, you can see the paint, the lettering off the right side tires. Definitely got into the fence.
So Berry started last, restarted 20th, and has worked his way up to the top 10. Not so good for Bubba Wallace. Equipment interference will cause him to have to do a trip down pit road at pit road speed as a penalty as Ryan Blaney comes in.
You can gain or lose a whole bunch of speed on the acceleration piece of the exit of pit road right here.
That's why you couldn't wait too long. Byron just passed Bell. That was a third place car right on the heels of the leader, Larson.
Well,
what was the leader?
Well, you see that gap from Kyle Larson to Christopher Bell also was a little bit wider than it was when he pitted. So definitely put William Byron in between him and the 20.
Now William Byron going by Ty Dillon, and Ty Dillon and Riley Herbst are on the economy run, Larry. They last pitted at lap 8. Can they make it?
So they pitted with 72 to go. We went back racing with 70 to go. I'm looking at their pace right now, low 33s, mid 33s. That pace, they should be able to make it. If they can't make it, I have no idea what they're doing right now, unless they're just trying to bank on a caution coming.
Well, Bat didn't make it off of turn 2 right there, but even if they do make it, we're going to lose a lot of spots here. I don't know that it's going to be a net gain anyway. Byron just hit the ball. I think he might have a right rear flat, Kevin.
Well, that's what we talked about.
2, 1.
Around it goes. With right side damage.
There you go.
Still green.
Yep.
No debris, no caution.
Well, that's what we talked about. The teams are really going to push these rear air pressures because the lower you can get those tires, the more grip that car is going to make from being lower to the ground and just mechanical grip in general. So,
well, he did a nice job of getting that car under control and to pit road.
You see how slow he's going all of a sudden? I think he's feeling it out. There it went.
Tyler Reddick has dropped back a spot. And ouch.
Oh, that one's going to cost us money.
Yes, that was our camera.
Loose.
Ooh, really loose. We have fixed this 11 car. Denny Hamlin is moving to the front and doing it in a hurry, picking them up and putting them down.
And as he passes Josh Berry, that'll put him into position for stage points.
Yeah,
top 10.
It's definitely been quite the metamorphosis, you know, for this 11 car from where he was 20 laps ago. I mean, he was in the back, Clint. One thing we haven't talked about is Kyle Larson has lapped all the way to 20th place on this racetrack so far. That's not something that we typically see. That just tells you how dominant that 5 car has been.
Well, he's mired in traffic right here, but because he's so dominant, I mean, he was what, almost 4 seconds in the lead. He's just riding behind him.
Well, big trouble right in front of him because all 3 of those drivers want to stay on the, or not lose another lap or stay on the lead lap.
Yeah, where are you going to go? They're 3 wide in front of him.
Yeah, Dillon, Hocevar, Chastain, right at the tail end of the lead lap. Nobody wants to have to take the free pass.
But there you saw Dillon that stayed out, and he might make it on fuel, but it cost him. He's all the way back to 34th place, a lap down.
Yeah, and he's actually running 35-second laps, and the leaders are in the 33-second bracket, so it's been ugly.
So Kyle Larson does not force the issue against those 3 drivers who all happen to be in Chevrolets trying to stay on the tail end of the lead lap. And Larson gets his 7th stage win of the season.
Yeah, and the problem with those guys that go to the apron or cars going to the outside, then you wind up on the bottom of the racetrack. You don't have any of the momentum, and then it's hard to get your car up the racetrack again.
NASCAR says this restart is under review between Larson and Elliott.
That's the first time we've seen somebody get to the outside of Larson. His teammate Elliott. This would be a huge win.
Elliott leads that lap.
Ryan Blaney to the outside.
Those cars get side by side, and Ryan Blaney had a huge run going into turn 1.
You see Larson's car bottom out, running up bottom.
Alex Bowman in the mix. We talked about his car.
And Christopher Bell.
And how good he is at this racetrack. Look how that momentum slowed down Blaney, and here comes Bell to the outside, Bowman on the inside.
Larson leads this lap. And the restart is good, says NASCAR.
Chase is doing a good job staying on his outside. Was oh so close to clearing him. Not so much. Who's Bell going to go with? Tried to go around them both, didn't he?
Yeah, Larson put a little block on right there to close that middle lane up, and that really hurt the momentum of that 9 car going into turn 3. And now Christopher Bell up on the outside. Blaney,
I think he tapped it.
Especially when all these cars are so tightly packed together. Cost you 5-6 positions. Oh, big contact.
Yeah, Bowman and Zane Smith got together. Smith, who got the final stage point in stage number 1, has been running up here in the top 10, and he just got sandwiched.
Yeah, you see these 3 cars right here, 3 wide, 11 up the racetrack. You see Zane, he knew that he felt like the 11 was going to come up far enough that he was going to get into the side of the 48 and tried to lift.
Yeah, good bit of contact there.
About as close as it gets to a wreck.
Oof.
Oh, man.
And Jamie, he is the 7th car 1 lap down, so nowhere near in position to get a free pass.
Well, Larry, we saw those guys yesterday in practice when they had trouble with their tires. All of them was working on their diffusers overnight. You think that's the problem with Byron?
Here's the top 10 as they run, and in the right column you see where they were running before the stop. Denny Hamlin came in 5th and came out 10th. And we'll show you again what happened here.
Well, he's got the clutch issues, and you're going to see this right front tire carrier. The lug nut is off, and then he drops the extra lug nut, grabs the original lug nut, puts it back on.
The jackman actually grabbed the original.
He did.
You can see the old one still got one sitting there, but this is the other problem. Just like we talked about leading in, Jamie told us the clutch is not going to work. The plan was to get it rolling. Listen.
Yeah, and basically what he did right there, Clint, they got it rolling just a little bit, and he revved the engine up and just shoved it as hard as he could into first gear. So that's not going to be very good on that transaxle.
Kevin, I asked you on a break, when you have a dominant race car like this, it makes it easier for the competition to stack the deck against you. I told you Chase Elliott's getting closer to him.
Yeah, that right rear tire is not happy, it doesn't look like, on Kyle Larson's car as we come to the final lap of this stage. But you saw it slide around, and Chase Elliott has closed in to the back bumper of that 5 car. Wouldn't surprise me if he goes right around him.
Well, no, here's Gragson trying to get back. He wants to fight his way back on the lead lap. The car just ahead of the race leader is Chastain. And Larson drops to the bottom. Elliott's coming. So is Gragson, rim riding around the outside. Chastain's going to stay on the lead lap. And Larson's going to hold off Elliott to win stage 2, but it was close.
Well, there's a chink in the armor right there, and we talked about that right rear tire with Kyle Larson, and you could definitely, we heard Cliff talk about it, and we saw that car dancing around right there, so definitely something to be concerned with.
Kyle Larson in the 5 car just out of the track in traffic a little bit too much that run. Thought maybe he beat the tires up, as we've said.
Did he get him? He did, guys. Chase Elliott to the point. How about that?
Elliott, control car on the restart.
Well, that
using the inside.
Yeah, and that bottom lane didn't get formed up very good. Now you see Kyle Larson able to hold door to door there with Chase Elliott on the exit of the corner, actually creep ahead of him down the back straightaway.
How about Brad Keselowski?
Third place on the high side. Bell there in the middle. Blaney on the bottom. Here they come off turn 4. 1, 2, and 3 wide. 4 wide back in the top 10. Wow.
Bell came from nowhere. 5, 6, 7 car lengths back and pulled right to their bumper. Where's he going to go? Might make it 3 wide getting into 3.
Now they're also drawing Blaney and Bowman to them as they run 3 wide.
This is as good a car as Brad has had all season long. He's going to give it everything.
Man, I think Brad knows that he's in a situation to where he has an opportunity to win a race, and Brad's got a lot of experience, and I think when you look at his points position, he's going to have to win. As you see those cars almost come together off of turn 2.
Well, he needs to get it sorted out. You're going to have to save some tire. I believe that Larson was trying to do that on his takeoff speed here.
Yeah, and the other thing that happened right there, Kyle Larson waited a little bit in the restart zone, and the 20 got into the back of him. And like Clint said, the 22 didn't get going very well, but they're back at it. 8 car.
Oh, no.
Kyle Busch with a big slide.
No yellow yet. No yellow.
Nope, we stay green.
Yellow.
Not
Get
anymore.
rolling here if you can.
As you see Elliott drive away from them, but Brad took it from him. Power move.
How about that? But they've made the most of it. You know, he lost a couple of spots because of that dropped center lock nut on the right front wheel. But that last pit stop, which could have been disastrous as they had to push him to get going.
Still 2
didn't
for
lose
1
that
right
much.
there.
Yep.
That car is extremely fast.
Really fast. Brad's in the wall.
Caution's out. Start creeping low here. Come on down. Blue tire.
4th caution of the day, a
man.
blown tire for Brad Keselowski.
And that's really been the story of the year. Every time things are going good, something like this happens. They heard him on the radio talk about blowing a tire. And you can see right there the right rear's down. And we talked about it, Clint.
Why is this car fast?
As this day went on, who was going to be brave on that rear air pressure? And obviously, they got it down lower. That speed picked up, got towards the front. Then the pace picks up for them, and boom.
Hamlin sits motionless on pit road.
Yeah, and I'm not so sure it's not broke. Did you hear how high he had that thing revved up
Push
and
it
then
back.
tried to shove it into gear, and it's worked the last couple times?
Look at this. Is not the one I want to be looking at. Chase Elliott had trouble. Right rear trouble. Big shakeup at the front of the field.
That was pretty wild right there. You saw that 22 car go down to block the 19, and nobody was there.
Trouble,
to help
turn 2. Cars in the wall.
Here we go. I was just about to say this feels a lot like last week, guys.
Ty Dillon, Cody Ware, Daniel Suarez.
And we've seen this happen here so many times, Clint. As we get late in these races, these guys just get so aggressive, and it happens a lot here at Kansas.
I think Larson got, or excuse me, Logano got Larson.
You see the 10 car get loose on the bottom of the racetrack, go up the hill, hit the 51, and 99 just an innocent bystander there.
Now let's go back to the last scoring loop that they crossed before the caution flag, and there was the difference.
Game of inches.
Kyle Larson to Joey Logano for the lead.
Go down the one. I'm getting ran into from the inside. Need to stop swerving and keep his hands in the car. Don't want to go up there, then don't go up there.
And here's what he's talking about.
Yeah, and it looks like the 21 and the 1, you know, the 21 is in a spot where he's got 2 cars below him, gets kind of shoved up into the one car. Yeah, and then it looks like the 1 might have swerved at him there a little bit, and that's what started that chain reaction there with the 8.
Yeah, you can see it right here.
The 20 car fan out 3 wide to get on the outside of Joey Logano.
Joey Logano holding straight. Here comes Bell on the outside.
Crash off turn 2. 2 cars got squeezed up and into the wall. And here we go again.
Justin Haley. Looks like, I think Eric Jones
Bowman,
is the other one.
Wallace.
Bubba Wallace. We're still wrecking down here in turn 3.
Now, what's Haley? Well, okay, let's show you what happened first. Wow.
Look at this. What happens is you're looking at 5 wide, looking at that. Nemechek on the bottom. Heim kind of moves up the racetrack into Haley. Gets loose there, gets in his left rear. Haley up into Eric Jones. And they're stacking up behind him. Haley clipped the right rear of Bubba Wallace. Bubba Wallace finishes his wreck down here in turn 3.
Yeah, we're really lucky there's not more cars involved.
I mean, look at that.
Yeah. There's so many lanes on this. Every lane is usable.
Now,
that's both RCR cars within.
Larson out by himself. Bowman and Bell for second. And Logano almost into the wall off turn 4 as he and Priest battles. That allows Briscoe in the 19 to get by.
That was a massive run by Chase Briscoe right there in that 19 car. Well, those are 2 of the best cars in the field. We talked earlier about Chase Elliott leading this race earlier on. Josh Berry having plenty of capability in that car has just had one thing or another not work out his way and a penalty on pit road. So 2 of the fastest cars in the field battling for 12th and 13th.
Berry up to 12th. Nemechek tries it again, drops to the bottom. And those 2 are catching Joey Logano.
See Alex Bowman fighting hard for that last spot.
It's going to slow his progress down a lot. You were right, Kevin. It was 2 to 3 tenths. He was catching everybody in this whole front of the field. May have had a chance to catch second place Bell. Not with Bowman giving him fits on this outside, slowing him down a lot.
Well, if they stay double file, they're going to bring Chase Briscoe right to them.
That slowed them down 4 tenths for him, 3 tenths for the pair of them.
Yeah, you see Blaney drive it in there that time, going to slide up into that top lane.
Chase Briscoe goes by and Bowman drops to 5th.
Front end took off on him, didn't it, Kevin?
Yep.
Bring this thing around, get me to the white flag, get this thing official. Been a dominant day for him, guys.
He really has.
He is in position to maximize points for the day. First stage win, second stage win, the point for the fastest lap of the race, and the victory a lap and a half away.
It's in the air. It's going to be official right here.
White flag, 1 to go.
And that's all Kyle Larson was looking for. He just wanted to get to that white flag to capitalize on a day that has just been absolutely
see him
dominant.
Pull way down off the racetrack. Get away from that wall. Just limp this thing around. A lot of rubber coming off the front of that car.
A 1.1 second lead on Christopher Bell and a couple of lap cars.
He's got
Bell
trouble
clears
with
the
right
lap cars.
front. He's way slow on the track. It's just like Hocevar. You see the rubber coming off that right front?
Here he comes off turn 4. He's going to make it to the line. And Kyle Larson beats Christopher Bell.
Great execution all day. All day. Pit road, restarts, all that. Good job,
I don't know if he was managing that or not, but when he came off of turn 2, there was a lot of rubber coming off the right front.
Hi folks, Lee Diffie from NBC Sports here. If you truly enjoyed what you just watched, you can get more news, interviews, and highlights by subscribing to the Motorsports on NBC YouTube page. You can get it all, so go for it.